Hello, Dawgpound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. Well, mini camps are over, OTAs are over. It's time to start the quiet time, the dead period, where you hope and pray no current Browns end up on the police blotter. But we still have some things to talk about. It's now the beginning of list season, or as a friend of mine calls it, listicles. So you're going to get a lot of lists. You're going to get list of position groups, power rankings, player rankings, redo of past drafts. So the next 5-6 weeks is just going to be filled with lists, garbage. So, but in the Browns world, now that we're done with mandatory minicamp and OTAs, the main topic of conversation for the next 5 weeks is going to be quarterback. I've already told you how I feel about Deshaun Watson. I make it there's no hidden agenda. I just don't like him. I want him gone, but I realize because of calorie the cap limitations, we got to wait till day 2, 2027 league year. And I have got that already marked on my calendar. I can't wait. So I was told by someone in the know who knows the coaching staff, if the season started right now, today, Deshaun Watson would be the number one quarterback. Did not want to hear that, but he further explained that right now no quarterbacks are really shining in this quarterback room. I find it amazing that a 10-year veteran, 3-time Pro Bowler can't pull away from 2 second-year quarterbacks. One who's very, very athletic but has a ton of bad habits, and the other one who's a left-handed short quarterback. I can't believe that this guy, 10 years in the league, and we all know what he did in college. We all saw the national championship game against Alabama, but still he can't pull away from these other two quarterbacks. So that's both good and bad. I personally think that this is the opportunity, this dead period, for Shedeur Sanders to put in the work, get rid of these habits, and to step up and take over the starting job. As you all know, I wasn't a big fan of Shedeur Sanders in the first or second round. I think they got him in the 5th round. It might have been a little later than most people thought, but he's a Brown. And right now, he presents the best future for the Cleveland Browns. Because if he stinks, the Browns are going to end up with a top 5 pick. And he'll be gone. And Browns fans will again journey into the Messiah zone, which I'm sick and tired of. I would be perfectly happy for this kid, even if he wins 7 or 8 games. That's an improvement. Show improvement in your game. That helps the Browns. 11 draft picks. Deshaun Watson's cap hit won't be so great, so they can spend a ton of money. Andrew Berry's already said that he's going to be very aggressive in 2027. 11 draft picks, great draft capital, 2 first-round picks. So all you need is Shedeur Sanders to go out and be an average quarterback. Because let's face facts, he was a terrible quarterback last year. A lot of people make excuses about the poor offensive line, which it was. But still, he's got bad habits. Let's clean him up, go out, become a competent quarterback. If the offensive line can do what I think they can do, which will help the running game, the wide receivers I've seen, the 2 draftees, Concepcion and Boston's phenomenal. I'll have more on the wide receivers here in a minute. The Browns could improve enough so they don't have to waste their time searching for the next Messiah. So, talking of the wide receivers, just came off of camp. As a group, they haven't been great. But three guys actually have been standing out in the eyes of the coaches. One is Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond is putting in the work, and he's impressed the coaches by putting in the work. Another one is Tillman, Cedric Tillman. He's finally fully healthy, and if he can stay healthy, like the coaching staff wants him to, major contributor. Tylan Wallace, the kid they signed from Baltimore. This was a personal request by Todd Monken to get this kid, and he has been phenomenal in mini camps and OTAs. Same with Denzel Boston. Concepcion, he dropped some passes, but some of those drops were due to the quarterback play. Always comes back to the quarterback. So, what I'm also hearing about O-line, I was correct. They will go into training camp with Elton Jenkins as your number one center. Now, once they get the center figured out, they've got everybody else figured out, except the right guard. Center and right guard. Left tackle, right tackle, taken care of. Fano, Howard. Left guard, Jenkins. New Jenkins. So all they need to do is figure out the center position. They want Parker Brailsford to dethrone Elton Jenkins so Elton Jenkins can move to right guard. That is the best possible scenario. Luke Whippler, unless he really steps up, he's more than likely going to be gone. They might try to put him on the practice squad. But right now, as it stands, Elton Jenkins is your number one center with Parker Brailsford as your backup. So who plays right guard? Well, another guy that's impressed the coaching staff, and to impress George Warhup, a 30-year veteran as an offensive line coach, KT Livingston. They are intrigued by this kid. Now, he's a little tall for a guard, but he is a power run blocker. So he's got the inside track right now. Jack Conley, not Conkley, Conley, an undrafted rookie well, he's not a rookie, second-year player out of Boston College, is also impressed. You also have Tavon Jenkins, who's playing very well. So they've got their options at guard. DeJuan Jones has shown the ability. His problem is he can't stay on the field. And they're hoping that he's over his injuries. He doesn't start eating again when the season starts. He just stays slim, stays in the program, works it all out, because he would be an excellent swing tackle. So that's what's going on with the offense. The key position for this starting offensive line is center. If Brailsford or even Luke Whippler steps up and can be the starting center, that moves Elton Jenkins back to guard, and that would be the best option for starting O-line. I know it's crazy to think that the Browns are actually thinking about having two rookies on the offensive line, especially center. But if this kid can impress our offensive line coach, then he must be pretty damn good. So take it for what it's worth. That center, watch that center right guard position battle. Let's take a quick break. All right, some other things I'm hearing. Well, I talked about it Thursday, that defensive depth is not the greatest, especially at defensive end, linebacker, and especially cornerback. The Browns are a little worried at cornerback right now. That's your main thing. They can possibly get by without another veteran defensive end. They do need another veteran linebacker, but corner, Andrew Berry loves his corners. They're looking for a veteran corner. Surprisingly, now that Ronnie Hickman has signed his tender, they're happy with the 5 they got. And I like Donovan McMillan, the kid they undrafted rookie from last year. I always liked him out of Pitt. Grant Delpit. Here's a little nugget that I was told. Grant Delpit is not holding in. That means he's holding out, but he shows up training camp. He's hurt. I haven't heard anybody mention he's hurt. I've been told he has a groin leg injury. So that's why he wasn't participating. That's why he wasn't at OTAs. He's injured. But they do want to get him signed. They think that he is the glue that'll hold the safety room together. So they want to get him done. So here's Andrew Berry's to-do list, honey-do list, as we say in the South. Resign, extend Grant Delpit. Find a veteran corner. One that could play in the slot would be helpful, but Michael Coates Jr., the rookie undrafted free agent, has been playing extremely well, but they feel they need a little more veteran presence in that position room. Then you got defensive end. They already tried to sign a veteran. Guy failed his physical, so that tells you exactly that they need another defensive end. And linebacker. They've got a lot of youth. I wish they wouldn't have lost Diabate, but Devin Bush wasn't going to resign. He had a career year, and he was looking for the money. Fine. Good luck. Thank you for your couple of years of great service. Baker, I don't know if they really want him, but they need to find a linebacker. Special teams. We don't talk much about special teams because in OTAs and minicamp, they don't practice it that much. They did the last minicamp, the veteran mandatory minicamp. They did practice kickoffs and punts. I want the Cleveland Browns special teams this year to be boring. You don't hear about them. You don't talk about them. Shh. Just, main conversation will be quarterback. Main conversation will be how good the defense is. Special teams, I want them to be boring and not mentioned at all. Because if they're boring and not mentioned at all, that means they're doing well. They're doing better than they did last year. And last year they were horrific. So, and special teams, that's a bugaboo for me. You got to find the right players and you got to find the right coach. And hopefully Andrew Berry has signed some veterans who have knowledge of special teams and play special teams well. The undrafted rookies from last year, McMillan, Dom Jones, Aiden Huntington, they all played special teams extremely well. So I just want them to be boring, and I don't want to hear anything about special teams, because if the media ain't talking about them, they must be doing pretty well. So that's it. Going into the dead period, you're going to see a lot of, like I said, beginning of the show, a lot of lists, a lot of people ranking this, power rankings, team rankings, offensive ranking, defensive ranking. It's going to get crazy until we get closer to minicamp. Then ESPN will show their annual greatest games, and you'll have to watch the drive and the fumble again. Thanks, ESPN. Really appreciate it. All right, that's it for today. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. This has been the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. Just a reminder, we're brought to you by Sherry's Licorice, hopefully working out a deal. I haven't had any yet, but I'm a big licorice eater. And Heritage Coffee, Hemisphere Coffee. I don't know why I call it where they shake the hands of the farmer. So everybody, just remember, we appreciate you following, listening, watching, and subscribing to us here at the Fanatical Elves Network, because we're Browns fans just like you. And every Browns fans love talking about the Browns, good or bad. So everybody, have a great day. And as always, go Browns.